Shaka Zulu, the warrior who changed African history. What if I told you? One man, born under a cloud of shame, built an army so fierce that entire kingdoms trembled at the sound of their footsteps? What if I told you that man was not a king by birth, but by will? His name was Shaka, and his story will make you question everything you thought you knew about leadership, courage, and destiny. Quick montage: spears clashing, soldiers chanting, Shaka's intense. Eyes African landscapes. Before Shaka Zulu became the most feared military leader in southern Africa, he was an outcast, rejected, mocked, a boy with no throne, no army, and no friends in power. Honestly, if Netflix had been around back then, they would have called him the guy least likely to succeed. But spoiler alert, he did succeed. Big time. But how does a bullied boy turn into a king who rewrites the art of war? It starts with pain. Inciting incident, childhood. Shaka was born around 1787 to a Zulu chief and a woman named Nandi. But his parents' union was not recognized, and his birth was considered illegitimate. From the start, the world told him he didn't belong. He and his mother were exiled. They wandered from village to village, mocked for their poverty, insulted for their status. Yet every insult became a brick in the fortress of his resolve. And then came the army, military training and transformation. Shaka joined the Mthethwa military as a young man. Here he learned discipline, but more importantly, he began to think differently. Where others saw tradition, Shaka saw opportunity. Traditional warriors fought with long throwing spears, keeping enemies at a distance. Shaka broke the rule. He invented the iklua, a short stabbing spear, forcing close combat. He changed the shape of the shield, making it larger for better defense. And then he changed the entire formation of battle. Imagine you're in a fight, and the other guy says, "Hey, let's do this my way." Then he invents a whole new way to fight. Yeah, you're in trouble. With his new tactics, Shaka didn't just win battles. He annihilated enemies. King Dingiswayo, the ruler of the Mthethwa, saw his genius and trusted him completely. But what happened next would turn Shaka's rise into something no one could stop. Because when Dingiswayo was assassinated, the crown had no heir, and all eyes turned to Shaka. Shaka as king, as leader of the Zulu, Shaka built an army that moved like a storm. They marched barefoot, over thorny ground to toughen their feet. They ran 50 miles in a day without rest. They struck fear before they even struck their enemies. But Shaka's story isn't just about winning wars. It's about vision. He took scattered clans and united them into a single nation, the Zulu Kingdom. He gave his people a sense of identity, power, and pride. Dark turn and tragedy, yet power can be a double-edged spear. After his mother's death, Shaka's grief turned into cruelty. He executed thousands, demanded extreme mourning, and began to lose the love of his people. And then betrayal. In 1828, Shaka was assassinated by his half-brothers. The man who had feared nothing could not see the blade in his own home. Shaka Zulu's story is both a warning and an inspiration. From nothing, He built something history could never erase. But he reminds us that leadership is not just about victory. It's about balance. Courage without compassion is dangerous, and compassion without courage is powerless. You may not be born a king, but like Shaka, you can choose to fight for your place in the world. The question is, will you? Final call to action. Keep them watching. If you think Shaka's story was intense, wait until you hear about the African queen who faced down the British Empire with nothing but courage and strategy. Click here, because her legend will leave you speechless.